pay the price for willful disobedience. Jesus foretells, "Your enemies will build around you a fortification of pointed stakes and will encircle you and besiege you from every side. They will dash you and your children within you to the ground, and they will not leave a stone upon a stone in you." Luke 19:42-44. True to Jesus' words, Jerusalem's destruction comes in the year 70 CE. When Jesus enters Jerusalem, the whole city is in an uproar, saying, "Who is this?" And the crowds keep saying, "This is the prophet Jesus, from Nazareth of Galilee." Matthew 21:10-11. Those in the crowd who had seen Jesus resurrect Lazarus tell others about that miracle. The Pharisees lament that they are getting absolutely nowhere. They say to one another, "The whole world has gone after him." John 12:18-19. As is his custom when visiting Jerusalem, Jesus goes to the temple to teach. There he cures the blind and the lame. When the chief priests and the scribes see what he is doing and hear the boys in the temple cry out, "Save, we pray, the Son of David," they become angry. The religious leaders ask Jesus, "Do you hear what these are saying?" He replies, "Did you never read this? Out of the mouth of children and infants, you have brought forth praise." Matthew 21:15-16. Jesus looks around upon the things in the temple. It is now late, so he leaves with the apostles. Before Nisan 10 begins, he travels back to Bethany, where he spends Sunday night. The king enters Jerusalem on a colt. Matthew 21:1-11, 14-17. Mark 11:1-11. Luke 19:29-44. John 12:19, 238. Jesus enters Jerusalem in triumph. Jerusalem's destruction is foretold. When and in what manner does Jesus enter Jerusalem as king? How does Jesus feel when he views Jerusalem, and what prophecy does he utter? What happens when Jesus goes to the temple? 102, 239. Jesus and his disciples have spent 3 nights in Bethany since they arrived from Jericho. Now, early in the morning on Monday, Nisan 10, they're heading to Jerusalem. Jesus is hungry. So when he sees a fig tree, he walks toward it. Does it have figs? It is now late March, but the season for figs is not until June. Still, the leaves are out, having sprouted early. Thus, Jesus feels that there might be early figs. He finds, though, that there are none. The leaves have given the tree a deceptive appearance. Jesus then says, "Let no one eat fruit from you ever again." Mark 11:14. Immediately the tree starts to wither, the meaning of which is to be learned the next morning. Before long, Jesus and his disciples reach Jerusalem. He goes to the temple, which he inspected the previous afternoon. Today he does more than make an inspection. He takes action similar to what he did 3 years earlier at the Passover of 30 CE. John 2:14-16. This time Jesus throws out those selling and buying in the temple. He also overturns the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. Mark 11:15. He does not even let anyone carrying things to another part of the city take a shortcut through the temple courtyard. Why is Jesus taking decisive action against those changing money and selling animals in the temple? He says, "Is it not written, 'My house will be called a house of prayer for all the nations'? But you have made it a cave of robbers." Mark 11:17. His reason for calling these men robbers is that they demand exorbitant prices from those who have to buy animals needed for sacrifice. Jesus views their dealings as extortion, or robbery. Of course, the chief priests, scribes, and principal ones of the people hear what Jesus has done, and they respond with renewed efforts to have him killed. However, they face a problem. They do not know how to do away with Jesus, because the people are flocking to hear him. Not only natural Jews but also proselytes, converts to the Jews' religion, have come for the Passover. Among them are Greeks who have come to worship at the festival. These approach Philip, perhaps attracted by his Greek name, and ask to see Jesus. Philip may be unsure whether such a meeting is appropriate, so he confers with Andrew. The two take the matter to Jesus, who is apparently still at the temple. Jesus knows that he is to die in a few days, so this is not the time to